Just want to let you lot know that if you're watching this clip on the Fozcast YouTube channel, the full episode is now available to watch exclusively on Spotify, and it's free. Come on.
So, for example, might the captain be in a position to say, Watto, listen, I feel like, as the captain, I feel like we were weak in this area or set pieces. I think we need to do a bit more on that. Are those conversations that occur?
Not really, if I'm honest. And I think the previous question about fatigue and that, I think that's where players actually box clever now. I'm sure the players obviously actually talk in the dressing room, but they wouldn't, even as the captain, come up and see the manager. All the managers I have known, even when they've got real good relationships with players, wouldn't be dictated to about training sessions. But the boxing clever way is to go to the sports scientist and the physio and get the group message across. And then when we have our staff meeting, the sports scientists are saying, look, we're really low numbers, injury risk. And then that dictates the management and the coaches changing the intensity of the session if they want the same session to run or completely changing
it's like a really orchestrated thing that goes on, isn't it? So every day at training, so you're trying to make allies with like the physios and the nutritionists and the some of the coaching staff and, like you say, the sports department, because you might need them one day, right? You might need them to be able to go, we're knackered, can you just have a word with the gaffer? And if he really likes you, or if he understands that you're a professional player and you come into him with honesty, be like, yeah, cool. But then the manager, on the same token, doesn't want to be seen as a soft touch. He doesn't want to be seen as the kind of manager that as soon as a player says we're tired, he goes, all right, yeah, cool, do what you want to do. You have to. It's a real fine line,
it's
isn't
boxing
it?
Clever, you know, and I think this comes from the relationships players have, because you spend more time with these guys, masseurs, physios, because ultimately, as long as you've got an honest, open relationship and you're putting yourself out every Saturday afternoon, and if you are feeling a little bit fatigued for whatever reason, or it might be that you've got a stonking hangover, but you need a little bit of help this day. The reality is, you're not going to be able to go to the manager with beer breath and say, I need a rest.
Yeah.
You need somebody to help you, support that.
Fight your corner.
But as long as the relationships are right and they know that you turn up Saturday afternoon and you'll be there Saturday afternoon, then it's like in every workplace, isn't it? Some days you're not going to want to sit in front of your computer because you're hanging. But you have to get through it somehow. Yeah. But in football, you can help facilitate a little bit. I saw
a really, really good post on LinkedIn from, you play for England, Stephen Colker.
Yeah.
Right. And he said he does a lot around mental health, advocate, helping players, speaks very, very, very well. And he said, he put a LinkedIn post out saying about fear, players being scared of this or a fear of that. And one thing he said, which kind of not resonated with me because I wasn't a player, but I thought I can see that, is that he said players are scared of being proactive and having these conversations because there's that fear of being called busy.
Yeah.
Right? And that's such a common phrase in football, isn't it?
Massive.
You don't want to be the busy guy.
Yeah.
So what does that mean, Ben? And does he have a point?
Yeah, busy is one of the worst slurs in a football training ground. It really, really is, isn't it? And it covers a whole kind of magnitude of parts of your game. It could be gym work. It could be getting in early. It could be doing extra on the training pitch. It could be it could be all sorts. It can genuinely be all sorts. And there's a fine line between being professional and then being busy. The reason why people call other players or some other people busy is because they feel they're doing it not out of being professional, they're doing it out of being a bit Weasley, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I remember famously, right, Phil Neville used to go and warm up on the sideline, right? When he was a player, he used to go and warm up and he would make a point of doing star jumps right in front of the dugout, yeah? Right in front of the dugout. This is so the manager, Alex Ferguson, or whoever it was when he was at Everton, would see him doing it and it might just jog his memory enough to go,
He's keen.
He's keen. He's good to. I might put him on. But the other players sitting on the bench or warming up alongside him would see him doing it and go, "Look how busy Phil is." Like it's not doing it like for what's needed to be done. It's to try and gain an advantage.
There's a real
if that makes sense.
culture in football, isn't there, of lads and busy and piss taking, isn't there? Because no one would ever call Ronaldo busy.
No,
right?
Not to his face.
Or no one would ever call Gary Neville busy.
No,
right? But if you're a championship player and you're demonstrating the same traits, you're probably getting called busy.
I think if you get into the training ground every day and you're the first one in and you go straight into the gym and you don't make a song and dance about it and you do it properly and professionally and you're doing it for a reason, you're not just going in and doing bench press because you want massive pecs or you're doing ab work because you want
That was my pet hate. I never saw certain players in the gym. 6 weeks before the summer holidays. They're in there. The old beach weights. I'm like, for fuck's sake, I've not seen you in here for 8 months.
What was there a coffee machine in the gym now?
No coffee machine where I
but you
work,
did
mate.
in there,
Mate, I used to go in there for myself. And I were in there all year. And because I was sat up on the top on my little spinning bike having a go, so I'm dinner 6-8 weeks before summer holiday. These creepy little fucks getting in there and saying, what's happening here? I've never seen you in here. Never ever existed.
Feel strongly about that.
I did feel bad about it.
The March-April gym club is a genuine thing.
And
honestly.
a disgrace.
It's a disgrace.
Serious?
Because it's nothing to do with football. It's nothing to do with being more powerful or springy or stronger on the pitch. It's nothing to do with that, right? It's not going to help you out there. Honestly, it's not. It's about looking good naked. That's all it's good for, right? Is bench press, is shoulder press, is biceps, six-pack. Mate. I'm eating the right healthiest food because I want to get cut, so I look good on the beach in the summer.
Who were the players, right, that were like the no fuss, crack on with it? Just they don't want the audience, they don't want the plaudits. The consummate pros that do it for them and their performance.
Watford, I'll give you a couple straight off the top. Adrian Mariappa.
Yeah. Given.
Tom Cleverley.
Knew you were going to say
Craig Cathcart.
Yep.
Ben Foster. Troy Deeney. Yeah? You'd get yourself in the gym early doors. You don't make a song and dance about it. You just know what you're doing. You get your weights out. You go into a corner and you do your work.
Was Troy the strongest player you ever played with?
Ever played with. Phenomenal.
Really?
The weights that he used to lift. Honestly, he used to squat and he used to deadlift like ridiculous weights, stuff that would just break our backs genuinely. But other lads would do the same thing, and it would be whether it's there's a like core exercise you can do. It's called low level core. Yeah, footballers, core is one of the most important things, isn't it? Watto? Every footballer, every single day has to do a core routine. Whether you do it with the team in the gym before training starts, or you go in before that happens and you're doing it by yourself. But it is so monotonous and it's so boring and it burns, but it's so boring. But there's so many players I saw, your Craig Cathcarts or your Tom, they would go in and they would sit there, headphones in, little tiny headphones, not the big bucket ones to make it look a certain way. You'd have your little headphones in and they would just lock themselves away for 25 minutes and do all of these exercises, and nobody would comment on it. They would just do it because they knew it would benefit their footballing ability.
And what about baggies?
We had loads, to be fair, absolutely loads. James Morrison, your Chris Brunts, Liam Ridge, we had tons.
Wrexham?
Again, the lads at Wrexham are phenomenal. James McLean he's a beast. He's an absolute animal. He would do everything. But they had loads of lads that would do that. Honestly, loads.
Yeah, but that's trying to create a culture, isn't it?
Creating a culture of doing it. Lads that wanted to do it for the right reasons, not just to be seen going in the gym. Like, I've had so many players who would just go in the gym and not do anything, but they would say, I'm going in the gym.
Exactly, yeah.
But they weren't really going in the gym.
Well, it's like any gym up and down the country, isn't it?
Yeah, posers.
You get the ones that work and the ones that sit on their phone.
Yeah.
And
So the posers are the busies. They're the ones we would call busy.
Okay, what about United? Who are the guys that I'm guessing a lot?
Oh, mate, you
take your pick.
Every single one of them. I'm not even joking.
Single
one
of them.
Apart from Paul Scholes.
Okay.
Paul Scholes wasn't really interested in that, but he wasn't trying
Didn't need to be.
He wasn't trying to be interested in that. He didn't need to. He did his talking out on the football pitch. He was a man of very few words, but the words he would say would be out on the football pitch.
Absolute baller. You sat next to Ronaldo in the changing room.
Yeah.
Was he chatty?
Yeah, he was good as gold. He was absolutely fine. He was just one of the lads, but he was a workhorse, and he was very rarely just sitting there chatting, having a good time. He was always off doing something.
So would you ever have like the convers? Oh, what you got for dinner tonight, Ronnie? Or
I don't know. We'd have some chef cooking.
What about the bicep challenge? Did you ever just give it the old look at these bad boys?
Python in there, Ronnie.
Which way's the beach?
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for watching. We hope you enjoyed this clip of the Fozcast. If you would like to watch the full episode, it is now available exclusively on Spotify for free.